Hi, my name is Bhupesh Kumar Navin Chandra Patel. Everybody who's aware of me or knows me, I'm the daddy of baby no name, stolen by Hertfordshire County Council on baseless false allegations and lies. Today's date is the 17th, Wednesday the 17th of August 2016. This is a quick broadcast which I'm trying to keep sweet short. At present, I'm due in court on the 22nd, 23rd of August, but I've asked Hertfordshire for an adjournment because at the minute I'm having problems trying to get legal aid for a civil case, civil stroke quasi case, that's what I've been told. But nobody seems to want to take a case on against Hertfordshire. So at present, I've asked for an adjournment, we'll see what happens. I'm asking Hertfordshire, at this present time, you've got all this evidence, you've got all this bullshit which you keep on using and balance of probability. There is no witnesses except for one person. And the thing is, they're saying he said, she said, we believe this, we believe that. At the end of the day, let's take this to the Supreme Court. You haven't got the bollocks to take it to the Supreme Court because you know that if you stay in the lower court or the High Court, you can fabricate your evidence and tell lies. It's a bit like Nicholas O'Brien adding me on Facebook and like Nicholas O'Brien telling lies, right, in an open court stating that I'm an alcoholic. It was stated at my final hearing that I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not a drug addict, and there was never any issues or concerns with my children. But you're adopting them because they are settled. But at the end of the day, that's bollocks. The kids were settled with me. You've lied, you've committed perjury. I ain't going nowhere. And at the end of the day, let's take this to the Supreme Court and let's see whether you got the bollocks. Jenny Coles, Director of Social Services, I'm asking, let's take this matter to the Supreme Court and let's sort it out once and for all. Or do you want to keep it in the lower court, hide it, charge me £90,000 and then put me in jail? Because that's what it seems like. The outcome's been decided. The local authority's barrister has already decided that they want £90,000. How much of that £90,000 is going in your pocket, love? Because at the end of the day, I'm sure that you charge quite a lot for representing these lot at court. Same as Nicholas O'Brien, high paid. And at this minute in time, here's me, just a parent fighting for truth and justice. I ain't going nowhere. There's many people behind me. And the one thing is, at the end of the day, I'll face my fate, right? And as God is my witness, I haven't done nothing wrong. You lot have bullied, intimidated and threatened me. All I ask for is my Article 6 rights to fair trial, Article 8 rights to family life, and Article 10 rights to freedom of speech, and which you're trying to deny me of all of those things and try and convict me for balance of probability bullshit. At this present time, you won't take this to a criminal court because it needs to be a burden of proof. But in the family courts, there is no burden of proof. So come on, let's take this to the Supreme Court. Let's get a trial going. Let's get press on it. At the end of the day, what have you got to hide? At the end of the day, if I'm so guilty, why are you so sad of taking it to the Supreme Court? If I'm guilty, I'm guilty. Take it to the Supreme Court. Why are you keeping it in a small court? Why are you keeping it in a closed court so you can hide things? Let's open it up. Let's make this public. Let's go to the Supreme Court. What have you got to hide, Hertfordshire County Council? What have you got to hide? Is it the fact that Jennifer Ann Jones was arrested for telling lies about a parent? Or is it because of the judgment which was out, the Lazarus judgment, which you keep on saying is nothing like what it stated? Right? At this present time, the Lazarus judgment is a truth. It's public domain. It's there. People can see it. And at the end of the day, it's in the press as well. But you want to hide the fact that your social workers lie. Let's go to the Supreme Court. That's one thing which I want to do. Why did Linda Jess get paid £82,800? Makes her not independent. You lot lie and you think you can get away with it. At this present time, you've committed too many crimes. Fuck you. All right, let's take this to the Supreme Court. If you have the bollocks and you think that I'm guilty and you think that I'm such a fucking bad parent, let's take this to the Supreme Court. Let's make this open court. But the one thing is, I never harmed my children. I never hurt my children. And at the end of the day, you've got the Lazarus judgments which backs up my statement. I want my kids back. I want my kids back. Whether you vacate the trial on the 22nd, 23rd, I've asked for an adjournment. It's my Article 6 rights to fair trial. So let's take this to the Supreme Court. Set the directions, Supreme Court. Let's go for it. If I'm guilty, I'll do the time. But the one thing is, if you're guilty, you'll be facing your time in the public media. I ain't going nowhere. Come on. And at this present time, you brought on these proceedings, so we're taking this to the Supreme Court.